Hi folks, I'm Dave Keys, and welcome to today's session live from Keyesland's House of Blues and Boogie. Today I'm going to focus on the great Chicago boogie player Jimmy Yancey. Jimmy Yancey is on my Mount Rushmore of boogie players. Jimmy, Albert Ammons, Meat Lux Lewis, and Pete Johnson. I'm sure everybody you could certainly make a case for other cats. Clarence Pinetop Smith, who wrote Pinetop's Boogie Woogie. But I'm going to stick with those four for now, and we can go from there. Well, what I'm going to focus on today, I'm going to play a tune like we did last week. I'm going to play a song, and then through the magic of these overhead cameras and being able to see what I'm playing on the keys, I will slow things down after I play the song through once and kind of give you an idea of what I'm playing, how I'm playing, and we'll go from there. All right, just a quick note about Jimmy Yancey. He was born around the turn of the century. He died around 1950. He, in addition to such great tunes as Yancey Special and things like that, he was also he was married to a singer named Mommy Yancey. The two of them had an act that performed often together. And he was also a groundskeeper for the Chicago White Sox at Comiskey Park for 25 years. So there's certain references in the song that might make a little more sense knowing all that stuff. So here we go. The tune I'm going to play is a song called Jimmy's Boogie, which I wrote about Jimmy and his life. And it's on my second CD entitled Tear It Up. The tune goes like this. Oh, the chapel was full as the preacher talked, but none would recall what he said. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, 'cause a great piano man was dead. With his casket covered with a blanket of roses, all folks that knew him were friends. Mama held off the burial for 8 long days. She said, I'm keeping him as long as I can. Come on and boogie, Jimmy. Watch those ivories fly. Boogie, Jimmy. The Yancey sound will never die. 'Cause the boogie is king. Everybody is dancing to the piano cat named Jimmy Yancey, yeah. Rent parties, house parties all over town, rocking from dusk till dawn. From Carnegie Hall to the high society, Meat Lux and Albert he roamed. With a left hand like God and thunder in the right. Everybody's gonna have a ball tonight. Gonna lay down, boogie down, shuffle down, get down. Everybody's gonna get tight. Come on and boogie, Jimmy. Watch those ivories fly. Come on and boogie, Jimmy. Sound will never die. 'Cause the boogie is king. Everybody is dancing to the piano cat named Jimmy Yancey. Said that the mark of a man loves the company that he keeps. Well, every miles and smiles all around, wherever Jimmy would be. Out at Comiskey, cats getting frisky, watching the White Sox play. Jimmy would be there for every game, making sure that the field was okay. With his piano kingdom and his loving Amy, folks that knew him were friends. Oh, you can feel the joy in the piano man's kingdom. Life's so filled with pride. Come on and boogie, Jimmy. Oh, watch those ivories fly. Come on and boogie, Jimmy. The Yancey sound will never die. Because boogie is king, everybody is dancing to the piano cat named Jimmy Yancey, yeah. Oh yeah, Jimmy's Boogie. All right. So now I'd like to break some of this stuff down for you piano players out there, other musicians who might be interested in the boogie and the blues. The main thrust of this song is the Antsy boogie beat, which Jimmy was known for, and it's basically something like this. Then an F. Everything goes from there. So, in a lot of the boogie stuff is, and this particular bass pattern, you can hear it on the Yancey Special, which was one of Jimmy's most famous tunes. Jimmy had a little softer touch than some of the more heavy-handed players, such as Meatloaf Lewis, things like that. Whereas Meatloaf would do something like. We're going to focus on Jimmy, so this is all that this is, but it's tricky, and it's kind of like combining with what you're going to do in your right hand. It's the old pat your stomach and rub your head, or the other way around. But if you really need to just take your time and get this, and the notes are only basically the roots of the chord. The C in the C, the third is the E, and the G is the fifth. But you just rotate, rocking between you have the C octave. It's a figure that was used in a lot of New Orleans music. I mean, you'll hear a lot of these figures are kind of cross-pollinated, for lack of a better way of putting it. You hear a lot of New Orleans elements in it. You'll hear some country elements in it. So that's what's going on in the left hand. Occasionally you might have noticed I'll also bring in the walking bass, the broken octaves, which I talked about last week. So you have, just to give it a different feel, the transition between the chords, going up to the fifth. just expands the menu a little bit of what you have to work with. In the right hand, one of the things I'd like to look at today, this is another song in C. I mentioned on a previous session that a lot of boogie woogie tunes are in C. Actually, a lot of them are in C and G. Interestingly enough, though, Jimmy played in E flat a lot. I don't know if he was self-trained, but I find I'm playing this in C because the trill, which is a fundamental piece of blues, boogie, rock and roll, you hear it a lot in Jerry Lee Lewis music, country, is easy to play in C, and here's why. In this key, you're trilling up, and that's the basic. That's the blue note, the flatted third, okay? So it's an easy movement. You only have to use these two fingers. So you have that. For example, if you were doing this in D, you can't trill up that way. You have to use the 2 and the 3 fingers, and it takes away one of your fingers. You have one less finger to work with while you're setting up for whatever the next thing you're doing. So for example, in this, what I find in a lot of this music is you're using what's called the pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale is the root, which is C, the third, which is E, the G, which is the fifth, and the sixth is what makes it a pentatonic scale. And of course the root up to, the octave higher. So what you have a lot is, I'm going to just use those 6 notes and you'll see what I mean. I'm going to try to see. Very country-ish. Now if I keep doing that and I add the blues third, listen to what it sounds like. So then I'm using the pentatonic in G. So it would be, in F it would be, but using the flatted third also. So in G it would be, and F. Okay, and then maybe you'll add a little 6th run, parallel, what's called parallel 6. So yeah, that's in C. So here's what you have. So coming down from the 5 chord. So there's a lot you can do just using that pentatonic scale and the flatted third, the flatted fifth, and those would call them descending sixths. A lot of fun, a lot you can do there. All right, I'm going to play you through just some stuff so you have some more stuff to digest now that you've kind of seen how I'm doing some of this, and I'll give you, say, another 24 bars and we'll call it a day. All right? Thanks for coming in, and please like me at Dave Keys Music. All right? That's the best way for me to reach out to everybody, let everybody know what I'm up to. So Dave Keys Music on Facebook. Appreciate it. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you again next Monday. I'm going to do it real slow, all right? Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you.